Beitong is a very well-known and one of the oldest brands in China, and they have good products, but it's usually nothing really special. But this is about to change with their latest and greatest controller, KP70. It has the latest capacitive sticks, tension adjustment mechanism, new design for back buttons, and even AI inside. But more on that in this video. I'm Mr. D, welcome to Digital Tech. This controller was sent to me for review, but the opinions in this video are entirely my own. I haven't been paid to say or not to say anything. And let's begin with the pricing. KP70 cost $150. Also, you can buy a charging dock, which costs $16. You can also buy extra accessory kit, which costs $4 and includes 2 extra joysticks, 2 D-pads and 1 extra set of back buttons. And they also sell 3 different faceplates for KP70: Shadow Black, Phantom Purple and Crimson Red, and each of them cost $15. But if you buy a controller with any of these accessories together, accessories will cost cheaper. Let's unbox everything. It's all in Chinese because this controller is not yet available globally, but it will be pretty soon. Protection rings for joysticks, the controller itself, USB dongle with Nearlink technology, which allows it to go up to 2000 Hz polling rate. They also include charging base accessory, I'll show you later what it is for. You also have taller stick caps included, this one included by default and this one is taller. Your usual USB-C to USB-A cable, which is braided and very soft by the way. It is a good quality cable, but I should say it's a little short. And the manual, which is only in Chinese by now, but after the global release they will have an English version. This manual is actually pretty good, it shows you everything you need to know about this controller. Now let's unbox the charging dock. It has LED on the bottom, USB-C port for charging. On the bottom there's a slot for a dongle, which you can use just like this. And this button is for changing the light in front. Next, the accessory kit. It comes with this foam part with a velcro on the other side, and it's meant to be used in a carrying case, which I don't have. Here's the example of FlyDigi carrying case, so you should put it over here. And the toolkit includes 2 extra D-pads. And out of these 2 extra D-pads, I prefer this one. I even prefer this D-pad more than the basic one. Here are 2 extra stick caps, and they are mushroom shape, same height as the usual joysticks. And also you have a more standard plastic back buttons, which you can replace on this controller. In my opinion, this is a really good buy for $4. Now let's see all the extra faceplates. These 2 have frosty plastic and this one is solid. I'll put all of them on the controller a bit later because they're not that simple, because they have this extra secret on the bottom. It weighs 325 grams, which is on the heavier side. As for the materials, everything feels very premium. Plastic is high quality, glossy face buttons are great, bumpers and triggers have metal finish, but they are made of plastic of course, joystick tension rings, D-pad and this button are plastic as well. Rubberized grips have very interesting Chinese pattern. The rubber itself feels good to the touch, and the biggest surprise for me is that 2 back buttons are made of metal and they are removable. There is so many extra details on this controller. Tension rings have min and max namings, there's some extra pattern on the D-pad, all the namings on the top are high quality, same goes to the back and to the bottom. So in terms of materials, this controller is on par with Apex 5, ZDO Plus Excellence, G7 Pro, Elite 2 from Xbox and so on. It's a very good quality controller. In terms of feel enhanced, KP70 is a very comfortable controller to use. Every button feels great, it's very easy to use bumpers and triggers and extra buttons, and the extra back buttons are just in the right place. And of course, it feels very premium again. This is a very comfortable controller to use. I really enjoy using it. KP70 has 1500 mAh battery, plus capacitive joysticks which are highly energy efficient, which makes battery on this controller great. It will last up to 15 hours, and if you buy a charging dock, it will always be 100% when you start to use it. This part on the charging dock is removable, and you can replace it with the one you have with the controller. If you use it with the one that comes with the dock, the controller moves a little when you put it on, and if you change it for the one which comes with the controller, it feels a little more secure. But still, this is a very weird decision. If you like my content, subscribe to my channel. I have so many interesting reviews coming in the future. For example, this absolutely stunning ZDO Plus Excellence. This one is a Starfield edition. FlyDigi Direwolf 4, which is one of the best controllers for the money can buy. This 8-bit Durare edition for Xbox, and so much more. KP70 is the first controller on the market that has capacitive sticks and the tension adjustment mechanism. I remember when I was reviewing MobaPad Huban 2, which also have capacitive sticks, my main problem with the sticks was that it was too stiff. But on this controller I can change the tension. 20 GF, and if you set it all the way up to the maximum, it will be around 91 GF. These joysticks also have internal restriction rings, which makes it extremely smooth. I'll tell you more about the performance of the joysticks in the testing segment of the video, but for now I should say they are very responsive and precise. The capacitive sticks are also very sensitive, and it may be even too sensitive for some people, because when I was trying this controller for the first time in aim labs, I was like, why is it so sensitive? It's not even comfortable to use. In this case you can set the bigger internal dead zone, but in my opinion you just need to get used for it, and it doesn't take that much time. Also, if you feel that the joystick is too easy to move, you can always set the higher tension on the joystick. Face buttons have optical micro switches inside, and they require very low pressure to actuate, and even though they feel really good, I'm actually not a big fan of these buttons. And the problem for me is that they don't have enough backfire, so to say, or a tactile feedback. There is no membrane between the button and the micro switch, so it kinda doesn't have enough tactile response. If I want to press the button very fast, I need the button to spring back to my finger. But if I do it here, at some point the button just doesn't press because it doesn't fire back to my finger. I have to admit these buttons are very precise, clicky and fast, but I guess this is just my personal preference. In terms of face buttons, the closest controller I can compare it with is the ZDO Ultimate Legend. I already made a review on this controller, you can watch it over here. If you have or tried face buttons on the ZDO Ultimate Legend, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Face buttons are great, but maybe not for everyone. KP70 has a tactile D-pad, which is removable. And as I've said before, I prefer to use this D-pad. And what can I say, the D-pad is absolutely amazing. It feels almost exactly the same as the D-pad on the Apex 5, which is one of my favorites by far, but at the same time this one is more difficult to press, which I pretty much prefer. And I've been playing different games on this D-pad, and in every game that I've tried this D-pad on, it feels just great. So the D-pad is very good on this controller. As for the extra face buttons, we have the usual menu button, view button, and AI button. And this AI only supports Chinese for now because this controller is not out globally yet, and there should be an English AI version on the release. But in my opinion, this AI feature is just a gimmick, because everything I can do with AI I can do in the app by myself. And because I don't speak Chinese, I cannot even test this function. KP70 bumpers have tactile switches, and as for the shape, they are very comfortable to use. This is the same pattern as on the rubber grips, and overall bumpers are just great to use. As for the triggers, it's very interesting. It has Hall effect triggers, which are not just usual triggers, they are adaptive, similar to PS5, and they also implemented the hair triggers at the same time. This is the best solution you can ever see on any controller. You have the best from both worlds. Very short travel hair triggers for FPS games, and if you want to enjoy the AAA games with adaptive triggers, you can do it too. Triggers are very well dampened, they don't scratch against the surface at all, and the shape is just great. Overall, these triggers are one of the best on any controller that I've ever tested. Great job, Beitong. You can set different modes for adaptive triggers in the app. Want some extra content and want to support me, you can join my Patreon. There you can find some early previews, behind the scenes, and some more content. Shout out to Turbo, Manbun, and special thanks to the Heavenly Beast. Let's talk about extra buttons. Two buttons on the top are micro switches, and the positioning of these buttons is very good. When you use triggers as usual, you can easily move your finger a little bit and press these buttons. So these are great. As for these four buttons, they are all tactile, and they have very satisfying click. And as for these two buttons, I should say these two button implementations is the best out of all the controllers that I've ever tested. Because first of all, they made of metal, which is a good sign, but usually when you use the metal on back buttons, it can cause some damage to the motherboard of the controller, but not in this case, because if you remove it, you can see that there's just a button inside, so it's not going to be damaged. Also, they can be set in 3 positions, as you can see here. This one is a standard. Then you can put them at 45 degrees, so if you prefer to use it this way. And if you want, you can put it on 90 degrees. And all of the 3 positions are comfortable. Also, there's a magnet inside, so when you put it, it just magnetizes. Overall, back buttons are just great. So if you are looking for the controller with the 6 extra buttons, where all the buttons are comfortable to press, and you want the premium materials and a very good quality controller overall, this is one of the best controllers you can buy now. Again, Beitong really surprised me with this controller. As for other extra buttons, you have function button over here and profile button. You can set up to 4 profiles in this controller, and on the bottom you can see on and off switch, and even Gyro has a special switch over here. By the way, I'll try to use Gyro a bit later, but as you may know, I'm not a big fan of it. It's just not my cup of tea. For the next part, let's connect the dock. I put the dongle over here, and I can finally turn on this controller. As you can see, it has 3 extra LEDs, one on the left, one on the right, and one as a logo. Also, when you press the trigger, these LEDs have animation, and you can set the different animations if you want. Also, you can change the color in the app. When you put the controller on the charging dock, it automatically turns off and starts charging process. It has this animation when it charges. Now let me show you what is so special about these faceplates. In order to change the faceplate, you need to first remove the D-pad, and it's very easy on this controller, and then you just lift it from the bottom. And by default the LEDs are white, but when you put the different faceplate, because it has this extra chip over here, it will change the LED color as well. And if I try another faceplate, for example this one, the LEDs become light red. And the last one is bright red on this one. And another cool feature, if you set your triggers as a normal and you change the faceplate, for example on this, I haven't changed anything, but triggers become adaptive now. So basically you can set up profile, adjust everything you want to any of these faceplates, and if you don't want to remember which profile is for what game, you can just simply switch the faceplate and it will switch the profile automatically. This is a very cool feature. I haven't seen anything like this on any controller on the market for now. And personally, I would buy any of these faceplates just for this feature alone. I know you can change profiles over here, but isn't this cool? Let me know what you think in the comments. As for the AI feature, as I've said before, I think in my opinion, this is just a marketing gimmick, but to be honest, who really cares if the controller itself is very good? So just don't use this feature if you don't want. Overall, controller won't be worse because of this. For connectivity options, you can connect this controller basically to anything. On PC it can be used wired, wireless, and with the Bluetooth. You can use it on Switch 1 and 2, iOS and Android. As for turbo and macro functions, this controller has it all, including the keyboard mapping. If you want to use a Control Freaks on this controller, buy PS4 and 5 Control Freaks. They fit just perfectly. The polling rate is 2000 Hz with stability over 100% and extremely low jitter. Excellent results. Almost 5000 data points with 4049 resolution, good linearity, and excellent results overall. Bumpers are mechanical with a click, but at the same time soft to the touch. Triggers are smooth and very nice from 0 to 100, no inner dead zone and no outer dead zone as well. When I swapped the usual D-pad for this one, now it reminds me of D-pad on the Apex 5, which is one of my favorite and which is one of the best, by the way. So in terms of D-pad, this controller is absolutely great. As you can see, I can go up and down and it doesn't affect left and right. Same goes to the left and right. Very easy to hit any diagonals. And if you press down, you can access left and right if you want, but at the same time it's not that easy. It's a great D-pad overall. As for the stick D-bounce, as you can see on the left stick I have algorithm intact and there is nothing, but if I put it raw as on the right stick, you can see there is D-bounce definitely. This is just normal. As for the circularity, it's just perfect. Let's check the latency of Beitong KP70 using Gamepad LA. As you can see with the dongle, it has almost 15 milliseconds latency, which is not that great, but it's still fine. And as you can see, the latency latency on the sticks is not that good overall. As for the button latency, it's very low, which is very good, especially using the cable. Also, as you can see, the circularity on both sticks overall is good, and Stick Analyzer shows almost exactly the same results as I have in my tests. Now let's move to aim labs. I had 5 runs, and the very first one got me 41k, because when I just started to use this controller, sticks felt oversensitive. But I adapted pretty fast, and on the second run I got 44k. Third one was 43k, fourth run 42k, and on the last one I got 41k again. Generally, if my results are higher than 40k and the accuracy is about 95%, it means the joysticks are great. I haven't used a lot of capacitive joysticks, but out of all I've used, these ones are definitely the best. But still, my personal favorite joysticks are JS13 Pro from K-Silver, and these capacitive ones are very close to them. And I should say I've got even better feeling playing Battlefield 6. Everything feels snappy, back buttons are just great for this game because there's lots of gadgets you can use and you don't have enough buttons on the controller to use them all. It was a very satisfying experience using KP70 in Battlefield 6, even though PC lobby is crazy compared to console. Let's try the Street Fighter 5, testing the D-pad. As usual, Ryu. Who the hell is Cody? It's flawless. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow. Yeah, in my opinion, this D-pad is absolutely great for fighting games because you can easily feel every press of the button. You can roll very fast. If it were for me, I would use this D-pad for fighting games all the time. The next game is Streets of Rage 5.2 Remake. This game is good for testing quick double presses of the D-pad because you use them as a combination to start running and also do special moves as well as evading. And you can see the gameplay yourself, it's just flawless. And once again, excellent D-pad. I've also played new release game Absolum, which is basically a roguelike beat 'em up, and again, as you can see on the screen, same results. The D-pad is fantastic. If you want to download the app for this controller, and keep in mind it will be in Chinese, you need to go to this website, I'll leave the link in the description, and you can download all the apps over here. When you finish, your app will be looking like this, and to enter the settings you just need to tap on the controller. And here you can see all your settings. These two are for left and right triggers, vibration, right joystick, left joystick, this is for AI, and here you can set the dead zones for left and right joysticks as well. If you turn on this feature, you will have 2000 Hz over the dongle, but if you don't want it, you can set it to 1000 Hz. And on the bottom you can see you can remap all the buttons. This one for AI, I'm not gonna show it to you because I don't speak Chinese, and when this controller will become available worldwide, I will maybe review this app again. Here you can set up left and right joysticks, set different curves if you want, and there is another sub-menu down here where you can find extra settings. Next one is adaptive triggers. I've already shown you how it works, but here you can change it to different modes. Next sub-menu is a remapping. This one is for the front buttons, and this one for the back buttons. And by the way, this controller by default doesn't have a turbo button, so I set up turbo button on M5, and now if I want to use a turbo on any button, I can press M5 and that button, and the button will become turbo. Next sub-menu is a gyro, and if I turn gyro on, you can see it emulates the left joystick. Next menu is vibration, then you have your RGB lights, and the one really cool feature I found here, it's not really a feature, but usually when you set up this light, you need to tap on the light you want, and it will change in like a couple of milliseconds. But here, I can move the light around and it will adapt accordingly immediately. Next menu is for emulating the mouse, but to be honest, I'm not really sure how to use this because I've tried different settings and I only can use this mouse on this small window. So maybe when we have the global version, I'll figure out, but for now, let's just forget about this one. And the last menu is basically a sleep timer. This is actually a pretty good app, I would say. The only problem, it's all in Chinese. So here I'm using sticks. Now let's try to turn on the gyro. If you want to emulate the right joystick, you need to set it here. And this setting is for shooter games. So it doesn't work now. Let's turn on. Oh, no, this is not a pleasant experience. It's juggling for some reason. I don't know why. It has some potential, but there's something completely wrong over here. This is borderline unusable. Let me try this menu because this one apparently is for simulating a mouse. So for some reason it doesn't work for me. I've tried. I'm not gonna play with a controller like this. This is just unusable for me. I don't know about you, but maybe I'm doing something wrong, and if you know how to solve this problem and help other people to understand how to use gyro on this controller, please help us in the comments, because I have no idea. I've tried everything I could. To be honest, I haven't expected anything from this controller in the beginning, but what should I say, Beitong really outdid themselves with KP70 and they surprised me in a good way. This is a flagship controller through and through. It has adjustable tension rings paired with power efficient, super precise capacitive joysticks, adaptive triggers and hair trigger stops at the same time. Hands down the best two bottom paddles out of all controller I've tested, premium materials, neat extra features and attention to details. Do you really need to hear more? I think the conclusion is pretty simple. If you like it, buy it 100%. This is easily going to be a top 5 controllers of 2025, and the video of top 5 controllers of 2025 will be later this year. So subscribe if you don't want to miss it. And if you want to watch my final thoughts on FlyDJ Apex 5, which is in the EVA 2 limited edition video, or my full review on 8-bit Zoo Pro 3, those two videos are now on the screen. Adios.
Climax of the show!